Welcome to Body Talk, and we're going to talk about a couple important things this week: anxiety, stress, and the coronavirus, in that order.
Yeah.
So with me today is Marlene Childers, the Director of Health Services here at the University of Rio Grande, and you've done a little bit of research.
I have. And we're probably going to need this information on stress after I finish with the coronavirus. So.
Yeah, nobody knows really what's going on and
Right.
what to look for. But anyway,
Okay.
something everybody has is stress.
Stress. Everybody. Everybody feels stress from time to time.
Yeah, and the weird part of it is that it's kind of sneaky, and you don't have to feel stress to have stress.
Correct.
You know.
Sometimes we're not even aware that we're
Right.
stressed.
It's not like you can, okay, now I have it, now I don't. It's just kind of lurking in the background, and you can take, I think there's like a little test you could take. Okay, have you had a divorce? Have you had a death in the family? It's a whole thing that adds up all those things that people worry about. It may not be on the front burner,
Right.
but it's on the back.
Back. And sometimes
Things
we're...
add up, and then people fall out.
Right, correct. And it's kind of like a depression score. They have a stress score and can determine where you're at in that level. So what is stress? And how does it affect your overall health? So that's what we're going to discuss, and how to manage it. So stress is how the brain and the body responds to any demand.
Now, is there a thing called cortisol?
There is, and I'll
Okay.
get to that.
All right. I figured I was jumping ahead.
Yeah. Yep, you're talking about the hormones there. So any type of challenge, such as performance or work or school, significant life change or traumatic event, is all stressful.
Right.
So we see all those things as stress. And
different people have different levels of things that they can handle.
right.
Maybe two or three gets them down, maybe 10 gets them down.
Right. Or maybe just one,
Right.
So everybody experiences stress from time to time, so we know that, and there's different types of stress, all of which carry physical and mental health risk. A stressor can be a one-time or short-term, or it can be an occurrence that is repetitive, and so people may cope with stress more effectively and recover from stressful events more quickly than others. So it kind of depends on what's stressing you out, So obviously, if you've, went in to take a test versus somebody who's been hurt in an automobile accident and didn't have car insurance and license, and so they're worrying how they're going to pay for all this and so forth.
Prison
so,
maybe over their head.
Yeah. So anyway, we often, and most everybody deals with stress on a daily basis. When you're driving, somebody pulls out in front of you and you kind of get a little bit raged, or I don't know, I have. Have you ever, because it's almost caused an accident.
Sure.
So,
I ride a motorcycle and people
oh, absolutely. And
pull out
so,
in front of you.
Yes.
And so you're like immediately
and,
going to 10.
And so that's a stressor, so it's a common occurrence in life every day.
Do you think you can, if you want to look at it in a physical way, you think you can work out at something and get used to it and then be able to handle more?
I think so.
Yeah.
For me, that kind of stands true. It seems like the more I go through, the more I'm able to deal with what I go through. So it's kind
Either
of
that or we just get old and we just don't care anymore.
and that could be That's probably what it is.
That's little stuff.
Yeah. So realize that not all stress is bad, though. In dangerous situations where it's fight or flight.
Where you
know,
need some of that.
Yeah, and some of that adrenaline to
Right.
get you to safety.
Right. You need that to perform to
Yes.
deal with it.
So not all stress is bad. So in these situations, if it's flight or fight, your heart rate will increase. You breathe faster, muscles tense, and your brain uses more oxygen and increases activity. So all the body functions are aimed at survival and in response for stress. Okay, so our body, to some extent, knows how to deal with the stress unless it's compounded. And then, that's when it puts us in
Yeah, short-term
bad
things
place.
are one thing, but
right.
going through 6 months of high stress situations. can
Right,
add up.
which could be
And then there's certain other
war.
people that have those type of jobs, if you're a
That-
policeman or something that's always getting into situations.
Right, and I'd say they
Soldiers or
probably,
whatever.
right, our service men, that's,
Moms with young children.
yeah, yes. Single moms with young children
Yeah.
at that too.
Right.
Natural disasters. And we're going to talk about the coronavirus here. So, we're expecting a lot of stress from that, perhaps.
Right.
So, anyway, not all stress is bad. And so then we have long-term stress that can harm your health. And that's when your coping mechanisms are kind of have left you. And so with chronic stress, the reactions that the body goes through can involve cardiovascular system,
So it's
sleep.
sort of like caffeine, which constricts your blood
Blood
vessels.
vessels, yeah,
So if they're already got some stuff on them and they contract, then
yeah.
Heart attack.
It's probably, yeah, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
If it continues,
Right.
Sleep deprived, so you can experience some minimal digestive system symptoms, such as like an ulcer. If you've had stress and a lot of it, then you're at risk for maybe developing ulcers where you worry.
do you think taking probiotics might help that? Is that a thing where you're releasing chemicals into your stomach and digestive system that kill off the good bacteria that you need to break down things?
I eat a lot of yogurt, which has probiotics, and so and with that, I don't have any gut issues, but I know that some people do, and my mom being one of them. She gets stressed out, then it goes to her gut. And she takes probiotics, so I'm not sure if that really helps.
Yeah.
I don't know. That question I can't answer. But let's move on to ways to manage stress. And so if you're finding that your nerves just aren't calming down,
A good old
then
throat punch, right?
that's when you need to go talk to a health professional. Yeah. Yeah.
Tired of you. Boom.
Yeah.
I feel much better.
Yeah. Have you ever done that before?
No.
Okay.
Not that I haven't
I
wanted
didn't
to.
think so. Well, I understand that.
Right. No, you don't want to use violence, but
Yeah.
a punching bag might help.
Yeah.
which is going along the workout lines
Well-
of, you know.
Yeah, I could have used that on my ex-husband back in the day. Yeah, that would have been, yeah. You know, so what you want to do is see your healthcare provider, see if, you know, you can talk to him about your stress. You want to set goals and priorities. Now, what that means is decide what you've got to do and get it done now, and what can wait. So you need to learn to say no.
Yeah, that's hard for a lot of people because we all want to be very helpful to everybody else.
And I see that in myself,
Right.
you know.
Me too. And then you just get up to here with all the stuff that you promised
Well, you
everybody.
take on too much,
Right.
you know. And so you just got to be mindful of what you've accomplished at the end of the day and feel good about what you've done.
Right.
Okay?
It's like I got three of the 20 things checked off the list.
Yeah.
Yay.
And so, you know, that's okay. Tomorrow's a new day, and so maybe get 3 more checked off. So one day at a time. You got to stay connected. You got to keep in touch with people. You're not alone when it comes to stress. So, you know, friends give you emotional support, and that's always helpful.
And I think we talked about that in another show, that of all the factors that go towards somebody living a long life, is the top one was how connected you are to other people. The more people you talk to and support you and different things, that
The
goes
better.
farther than maybe a diet or working out and
Absolutely.
everything else.
Absolutely. Yep, your resources. If you have any suicidal thoughts, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or you cannot cope, or you're using drugs or alcohol more frequently as a result of your stress, then you should immediately seek help, because that's not a good place to be.
Right.
So I will throw out the
That just
national.
takes all the options away of anything getting any better,
Right, exactly.
which most likely it will.
In time, hopefully. But anyway, I want to put out there that, you know, again, if anybody has thoughts of suicide, you can call 1-800-273-TALK. That's the
Which
National-
talk is 8255.
that's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
It's 1-800-273-8255.
24 hours, 7 days a week. Okay. So 16 ways to relieve stress and anxiety. The first one is exercise.
Sweat it out.
Yeah,
And that works pretty well.
it does. Stress hormones. Exercise lowers your body's stress hormones, such as cortisol, is what you mentioned in the long run. It helps release those endorphins.
Right.
And those are chemicals, excuse me, that improve your mood and act as a natural painkiller. Sleep. Exercise can also improve your sleep quality. So if you're not getting enough sleep, that can be a negative influence on how you deal with your stress
Right.
and anxiety. And confidence. When you exercise regularly, you may feel more confidence and be competent in your body, which in turn promotes well-being. Consider supplements. Now, I've never done that. They mention here about lemon balm. Have you ever heard of that?
Not for anti-anxiety. I don't know if it's just the smell of it or something.
Yeah, it's a member of the mint family, and so it's been studied for its anti-anxiety effects. So they're saying lemon balm is good. Omega-3 fatty acids, those, that was a study, and when you do the omega-3 supplements, they found in the study that there was a 20% reduction in anxiety symptoms.
Okay.
So,
No, it's like an antioxidant or something like that.
don't know what that is. I can't even pronounce that. So we're going to skip that because I've never heard of that, and it's some kind of herb. It's ashwagandha.
Yeah.
It's a herb, so I'm not sure. But it's been found to be used in treatment for stress and anxiety, as well as green tea. It's got the antioxidants, which provide health benefits, and it can lower stress and anxiety as well.
Valerian and kava kava. You can get those
That's what
supplements.
they're saying.
See, light a candle. Is that for the
Essential oils, or burning a scented candle.
so
can
smelling
help.
something nice?
Yep.
Just be careful with that so you don't burn down the house. We had a
Yeah.
fire started here in the dorm, I think in the mid 90s, because somebody was using a candle and knocked it
Candle.
over and stuff.
Oh, here's a good one. Reduce your caffeine intake.
Okay.
I drink 10 to 12 cups of coffee a day.
Really? Wow. I can't drink one.
And I can drink coffee at 11 o'clock at night and go to bed. So
I can't drink at 11
I'm
o'clock
pretty
in the morning and
immune
go to bed.
it. I'm pretty immune. But it's a stimulant, and high doses can increase anxiety, but I don't feel like I'm a high anxious person.
Well, and then there's people who drink a lot of energy drinks, and that, well, and that too, caffeine constricts your blood vessels.
Yes.
Tenses
it
you up a
does.
little bit.
So,
Write it down.
yeah, one way to handle stress is write things down. You know, write a list of what all you need to do. That helps me.
Yeah.
And then I can cross it off. And I don't always
If you can't
get
count it and you just think, I've got a bunch of things to do, that amount might
overwhelming.
feel like this
Yes.
when it's only like this.
Correct. That's
And then when you
right.
can cut it down, then it goes
So
down
they're
easier.
saying write things down helps.
Chewing gum.
Chewing gum. I do that all the time too. So although chewing gum has caused me to have TMJ, but I still chew it.
Spend time with friends and family.
Family,
Oh,
that's
if you
so
don't have any
important
friends.
because they are such a strong network for you. And, you know, they provide support, which helps decrease your stress.
Whoever can hear you and understand what you're going through. So you know, just the feeling of being understood is one thing.
Absolutely. So having strong social ties can help you get through stressful times and lower your risk of anxiety. Laugh. Now, I like to migrate towards people that humor me because I love to laugh.
Sure.
And that's definitely a stress releaser for me. So, you know, to me, I don't laugh enough.
Right.
Because I like to be around people and humor.
It's getting harder nowadays with the PC culture and everybody saying, you can't say that, you can't say that, that's rude.
It is.
Well, it's still funny.
It's good. Well, and you know, we're on our phones a lot too. So,
Right.
And you know, there's funny things, of course, on our phones at times. But anyway, and then learn to say no.
That's a big one.
That's a big
Good,
one
yeah.
for me. And avoid procrastination.
Yeah,
So,
because it just piles up at the end.
and so just practice
Yoga class that
yoga
goes along with working out.
and practice
And
mindfulness, breathing.
Breathing deep. I think that's one of the main things about yoga. That
Our watches tell us to breathe deep. Do you ever get that on your watch? Your
I kind of
iWatch?
turned it off.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's like I'm okay. I'm breathing.
Well, I take those deep breaths, and it
Yeah.
says, okay. Okay, yeah, deep breathing, cuddle, you know,
Soothing music.
cut that, yeah. So
I like
just-
music that gets me going.
And spend time with your pets. So my dogs.
That's one at the top of my list.
So the bottom line, exercise, mindfulness, music, and physical intimacy can all work to relieve anxiety.
If you don't think exercise will do it, try it for a week and see how you feel.
See
And I
the
bet
difference.
at the end of the week, you'll leave that whatever workout session you're doing going,
I feel pretty
I feel a little lighter on my feet.
Yep. Or just taking a walk, like walking
Yeah.
20, 30
Yeah, you don't
minutes
have
a
to
day.
run.
No.
You don't have to run. Just take a walk, go for a walk in the woods, go up some hills or whatever. It's fun, take the dogs out, let them chase squirrels and deer and stuff. Just watch out for ticks.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole different ball of wax you're
It
getting into
sure
there.
is.
All right, so we're going to go into the coronavirus.
Yeah, for a few minutes.
Okay.
I will tell you this. President Trump is meeting with the CDC. It's going to be televised on local channels, wherever you're at 6 p.m. tonight.
We
So-
just don't know a lot about it.
The coronavirus is a family of viruses, but they're thinking. Now, this is what I'm getting.
Is it in the flu family? Or?
No, it's in the virus family. It's
Okay.
a virus. But they're thinking initially that this was contracted from the marketplace there in Wuhan.
China.
And that the source was initially from an animal.
I've seen things like bat soup and some weird stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
you see people
Yeah.
eating some strange things over there.
Yes. And so anyway,
So what are the symptoms?
okay,
And they're
symptoms
not.
are.
It's not
Yeah,
like really
it's-
weird.
It's pretty
Common
bad.
stuff.
Yeah. And is it the flu or the coronavirus? I mean, but you have it's a respiratory virus. And so you have shortness of breath, you have cough, and you have fever.
Low
so-
grade or a good fever?
I think a pretty good fever,
Okay.
from my understanding, what I'm seeing on TV. Now, some cases where they were on the cruise ship, some of them had low grade fever. So it may be where you're at in that.
Like how much rest you have and how susceptible you are to being sick.
Well,
It might hit you harder.
harder, yes. Or if you're elderly and
Or very young.
immunocompromised or very young, then those are the cases that are causing more severe symptoms.
And people move around so much that's a major problem.
It
if you could
is.
just shut down all the shipping and the air flights,
Yes.
you could keep it contained.
Yes, and so
But people move from city to city and country to country, and then
so
it gets crazy after that.
I will give you some stats that I got off of the news this morning.
I just had one question. Is the coronavirus better with lime?
I think so. Yes, I think so. I really do. Got to have that line.
Yeah.
But right now, as of this morning at 7 a.m., around there,
This is the end
There-
of February 2020.
there was 2,762 deaths from this coronavirus. 52 new deaths globally overnight. 406 new cases overnight. And U.S. currently now has 57 cases.
Now, if you go on a percentage,
That's
57 out of
that's
how
a
many
very low
million, that's
percentage.
not a big deal.
No, it's not. However, the CDC and
I think
President
the
Trump.
bad thing about it is how easily it's transmitted. It's through the air and different things.
Well, see, they're saying possibly through ventilation, having people in different rooms and just the ventilation. That's what happened on the cruise ship. They're suspecting.
Yeah, and people don't know why I don't want to take a cruise.
Right. I
mean,
don't blame you.
for a long time, I mean, people get sick and spread everything around.
So President Trump and the CDC will be on TV 6 p.m. tonight. It's right now, CDC is saying that it's just a matter of time. And
Before it makes it over here in a big way.
It's going to bring disruption. So they're wanting you to get prepared. And
Now
that's
here, I'd
why-
like to tell people who are teaching, look at every class has an online component. Look at how you can move to that in case we just got to say, stay home and get on the computer.
Right.
Stay to yourself just for a few
And
weeks.
actually, that's what they're recommending if this, gets bad, which they're,
I'm just
they're
not quite
implementing-
clear on why people die, whether it's from the virus or if it is from secondary infections
Well,
like
and they
pneumonia.
really haven't made that known.
Right.
Okay.
Nothing's really clear at this point.
No.
One, because
and,
China doesn't share a lot.
and exactly, and I'm not really sure that they even know. I don't know.
I've heard of
But-
them locking buildings and just saying, okay, everybody's going to stay in there. Nobody's coming out.
Well, this is going to be something. I mean, it really is. Right now, the United States is implementing aggressive containment strategies for detecting, tracking, isolating, and preventing more invasion of this disease, such as closing ports of entry and so forth. So, initially I believe that China kept this kind of quiet initially.
Nothing to
until-
see here. We've got it all under control.
Yeah, and so there's travel notices changing every day. We've got spring break coming up. I'm very concerned about that.
We had originally thought about going on a trip to Europe this summer, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Not quite feeling it right now.
Right. Right now, the immediate risk in the U.S. is low.
Yeah.
Okay, but of course, it's affecting our the stock market plunged
Yeah.
the past 2 days, so it's hurting the economy. But I can tell you this, that the CDC says be prepared.
And like with any of these things, wash your hands, stay away from people, cover your coughs, and you're sick, please stay home.
Yeah,
I got sick
absolutely.
because some people didn't want to stay home. So
Yeah, you've got to stay home.
if you don't feel well, stay
Don't-
home. No
yeah.
matter what, if you got the
We-
flu, a cold, or whatever.
You don't need to be in classrooms or around people if you're sick. And right now, the flu still presents,
The bigger risk,
correct.
right?
And so,
And it's still flu season.
so yeah. So to avoid getting sick or spreading anything, just make sure you wash your hands often. These 10 things right here,
Get you in a lot of trouble.
they will. So keep them away from your face, away from your eyes, your mouth.
Mucous
Don't
membranes.
even put them up here.
Right.
And if you do have to touch your eyes, your nose, or your mouth, make sure that your hands are clean. Wash before you touch.
Right.
And cover your mouth and nose with a tissue or your sleeve like this. Okay, not your hands. This just helps germs to keep from spreading, and avoid contact with people who are sick. And like Mike said, stay in. We don't want you here. We don't want
Don't
you
go
here
see your
sick.
elderly parents, you know?
No.
They don't need it either.
Correct.
Okay, we're plumb out of time, and we thank you for watching, and see you next month on Body Talk.
Keep healthy.